The discovery of bodies, 6 hostages found in Gaza in a tunnel, including the American-Israeli Hersh Goldberg Polin, following the release of another hostage by Hamas. These discoveries coincided with the beginning of a significant polio vaccination campaign in Gaza aimed to inoculate 640,000 children, and the vaccination drive was urgently initiated due to the detection of Gaza's first polio case in 25 years, with Israel agreeing to brief pauses in the fighting to facilitate the campaign. The 6 hostages, Hersh Goldberg Polin, Eden Yerushalmi, Ori Danino, Kamel Gat, Alexander Lobanov, and Almog Saruri. And there's pretty strong evidence that these 6 were slaughtered just before the Israelis found them. The polio vaccination is, it's a vital effort, and it has a long history beginning in the 1950s when Jonas Salk developed the first effective vaccine. And polio was a devastating disease, causing paralysis and death, particularly among children. And the global vaccination campaign, spearheaded by organizations like the World Health Organization and UNICEF, led to the near eradication of polio by the late 20th century. But in conflict zones like Gaza, disruptions in healthcare can lead and has led to the resurgence of such preventable diseases. It's outrageous. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has a complex history of failed peace negotiations and nearly but not quite resolution. Israel's reluctance to engage in the peace process stems from security concerns, a lack of trust in Hamas, which governs Gaza, and also possibly a desire on the part of Netanyahu to cling on to power. Conversely, Palestinians demand recognition of their rights and an end to the occupation. And despite numerous attempts at peace, including the Oslo Accords and subsequent negotiations, lasting peace is elusive. The conflict between Israel and Hamas, which escalated after the October the 7th terrorist attack, with Israel's military response focused on destroying Hamas's infrastructure in Gaza, was the purpose of the military response and the siege was apparently to recover the hostages alive. But it's now so long, and it's so unclear whether the aim of the siege has been to recover the hostages or simply to decimate not only Hamas but the Gazan population. So the discovery of the hostages, like the 6 recently killed, underscores the human cost of this conflict and Israel's failure, because it is failure to protect its borders in the first place in October, and failure to achieve its objectives. This is all down to Netanyahu, and it seems to me to be perfectly reasonable to even to support Israel as a concept, and yet to criticize Netanyahu and the present Israeli government quite severely. Ideally, there can be only one solution, which is a 2-state solution, because no other solution has been advanced that provides dignity for the Palestinians and security for Israel. No other solution is on the table. So simply to delay this is to delay the inevitable. And to dismantle Hamas's operational capacity in Gaza, well, that's only a small part of the problem. While Hamas is supported by Iran, while Iran is also supporting Hezbollah, this isn't something that can be dealt with by a military siege of a small part of that triangular threat. I think Israel from the very beginning has approached this wrongly. And I think it has alienated the global community. Its strategy has led to widespread destruction and humanitarian crisis in the region which could have been avoided. The situation in Gaza is a tragic intersection of health crisis and violent conflict, and the polio vaccination campaign highlights the dire conditions faced by civilians, especially children, in this ongoing war. And the hostages' fate reflects the deep-seated tensions that continue to fuel this cycle of violence and the failure of the current Israeli government. It raises questions about the future of peace and stability in the region in the hands of a government and a country which is hell-bent on revenge. There has to come a point where it goes beyond negotiations. It goes beyond this sort of drive for peace or drive for revenge. It has to work towards the neighborly living together. It has to work towards a solution that allows Palestinians and Israelis to coexist. There is nothing else available.